Hi, I'm Blake, the Hoss in HosBBQ. Today I'm going to be unpacking and putting together my new Traeger grill. This is the Texas Elite 34, so 34-inch model. So I'm inviting you along to take a look as I go through this process. Once I remove the cover, you can see that the grill is sitting in there, all one big piece, wrapped up in plastic, nicely packed. I like how this is packed so that you don't actually have to try to lift the grill out of the packaging. The box all just kind of falls open for us. Very nice. Looks like I've actually got to turn backwards from where I'm going to have it setting when I get done. So let me get this turned around so we can have a better look. Okay, I've turned the grill around so that it's now facing the camera and sitting the way I'm going to have it sitting when I get done with the installation. So, as I said, the box opened up very nicely, so exposes the grill. Looks like our parts are all packed inside of it. Here's the hopper. We've got a few things inside the hopper as well. Looks like our grease bucket wrapped up. The initial firing instructions, which I'll be reading over here shortly. A nice bright warning label. It says, please read the entire manual before starting your Traeger wood-fired grill. Failure to follow these instructions, especially startup and shutdown, could result in property damage and or bodily injury. Okay, so it looks like we need to read through everything thoroughly. That's what came packaged in the hopper. Sticker's slightly loose, that's not a big deal. We've got our serial number and a few other items of information here, along with on the inside of the hopper. Put the sticker down there, let's see. It looks like our main instructions, along with a cookbook and a decal. Okay. Two legs, each with a wheel. This grease bucket out of the way. That's got to be cut. Looks like the smokestack. Another leg with a very large wheel on it. Appears to be the handle. Set that aside for the moment. Wrench in various pieces. the other large wheel, leg and wheel. Come out. There it goes. That's going to be the grate. The drip pan. Another piece, I'm not exactly sure what that is yet, but I'm sure the instructions will make that clear. And that is everything out of here. Alright, so I'm going to take some time to read through the instructions and figure out how to put this together, and then we'll get started. Okay, now we're going to start with the assembly of the grill. Read through the instructions. It looks pretty simple. It's about like assembling furniture, if you've ever done that. It comes with all your parts and your tools in a little package, typical what is in furniture that you build yourself as well. I'm going to bring this a little closer, maybe you can get a good look at it. Don't know that that's quite focusing. What's also nice though, unlike some packaging, the labels are also on the back, so once you cut this open and have it laying on the ground, you can still see what everything is. So I'm going to take a moment to do that. Okay, I've got my bolts and everything cut open, ready to use. The first step was to lay the grill on its side, which I've done. I've used a couple of the foam packing pieces to lift it up, kind of keep it a little more stable. Hopefully make it a little easier to put these legs on. Looking at the instructions, it looks like the two legs with the small locking wheels go on the side with the feeder, and the two larger wheels go on the side where the smoke outlet is going to be. So it looks pretty simple. We're going to do some assembly here. We need the letter A bolts, and we need a E washer, and then on the inside of this, it looks like after we go through the leg, we're going to need another E washer. That's the smaller of the washers. The A bolt's the smaller of the two bolts of it in here. A G washer, which is they label as a spring washer. I would probably call that a locking nut washer. I don't know if you can see these on the camera. And a letter C hex nut, which is actually the larger of the two hex nuts in there. So that's going to be what goes on the inside. So let's see. Lining up these holes. Let's go this way. There it is. So what's that one again? Here's E. C, then G. Get that figure tight for the moment. And then we've got to do the same thing going down so that you have two bolts crossing each other for each leg. So it is A bolt and the E washer on the outside. Now on the inside, you've got the E nut, G washer, and the E washer, the G washer, and then the C hex nut. and there's our first leg on. Repeat this process for the remaining 3 legs. Moving to the other side, we can see that things are slightly different. The legs on this side are rectangular in shape rather than square, so that you can't put your wheels in sideways. You do want to take caution though to make sure that you have your wheels, as pictured in the instructions, on the outside, not the inside when you install them. Oh, also, because of it being rectangular, there are 2 longer bolts for the long side of the rectangle. Otherwise, the assembly is the same. Okay, so there's the legs fully assembled. The next set of instructions requires to set this guy back upright, and then we continue on to installation. Okay, I'm back. Our next step is to install the handle on our Traeger. He's now standing up on his newfound legs, as you can see. This looks, again, pretty simple. We're going to take the J-bolts, which there's 2 of. And we're going to take the K washer. This one took me just a moment to see. It's actually the same as the E washer. It's labeled as both on the back of the packaging. Easy peasy. The next step, we're going to install the flue pipe and chimney over on the other side of the Traeger. Okay, so next we're going to attach the flue pipe. To do that, we need the flue pipe, of course, and we need the gasket. See, there's 2 holes already made there. You're going to line those up. We're going to use bolt B, small bolt, and washer F, it's a different one than we've used previously, through to the outside of those. On the inside, we're going to use another washer F and our hex nuts D. And this, of course, goes over on this side. Line that up with the holes in the grill. Put a washer and nut on the inside. was afraid that was going to happen. The other one fell out. There is not much slack room here. This bolt is very short. There, I got that one to catch. Again, washer on the inside, and then bolt on the inside, but not, sorry. Quite short. There it goes. If I put too much for that one, try to make sure the gasket's lined up well. Okay, once you have those tightened, you need the bolt topper on there. Let's see. Oh, that looks like it just screws in. No nut or anything. So there's our chimney assembled. All right, so last thing we did was we assembled the chimney, and as you did in the previous steps was the handle and the legs. The next set of instructions tell us how to put in the heat baffle, which goes over the hot pot inside the grill, and the grease shield, which is angled, and the grate, of course. But I peeked ahead in the instructions, and on the initial firing instructions, it wants us to be able to see down into the hot pot. So I'm going to do those tips first, and then come back later and put in the heat shield and the grease shield. So I have already plugged this in. This was turned off as it's said to do. Next, it wants me to open the hopper lid and make sure nothing is in the auger. The auger seems to be quite clean to me. I'm going to switch this to on. Fantastic. It's making noises. Place your fingers over the fire pot, if they call it the hot pot, it's the fire pot, and feel the air movement from the draft inductor fan. I do indeed feel air movement. Caution, do not touch it though. Maybe I should have put that first. Fill the hopper with Traeger barbecue pellets. Okay, so I did get a nice bag of pellets. They came with this grill, so I'm going to go ahead and put those in now. Looks like there are slightly more pellets in a bag than will fit in a hopper, but it's pretty close. Well, then we get us a little bit more. Probably a hopper and a half. Okay. Next, let's see. Turn the temperature dial to high. Okay. I am up at high. The display says 450 degrees. I'm not sure if you can see that from there or not. During the initial charging of the auger, it will take time for the pellets to travel from the pellet hopper to the fire pot. I can't tell at this point if anything's actually happening. I hear noises, but it may just be the fan. I imagine probably one of those noises is the auger. When the pellets begin to fall into the fire pot, turn the temperature dial to shut down. And then after we do that, we're going to set it to smoke and let the pellets come to full flame. Once you see flames coming out of the fire pot, turn the dial to shut down cycle and let the grill cool down. After that, we're going to open the door, set the dial to smoke. In approximately 2 minutes, you will notice white-gray smoke coming out of the grill as the pellets ignite. After assuring the pellets have ignited, close the door and set the temperature dial to any setting desired. Note, before cooking the first batch of food in your new grill, you need to season the grill. Turn the dial to high and run for 45 minutes at this setting with the door closed. This must be done before cooking any food on the grill. Okay, so I'm still waiting for our first pellets to come through. Kind of wishing now I had not put the pellets in until after I saw the auger moving. That would have been nice. Well, it actually did say that up there when it was at the beginning, when I was supposed to confirm that. I did not do that step. Hopefully the auger is doing its job. We'll give it a few moments here and see what happens. Okay, so the pellets are actually dropping in now. It took long enough that I was starting to get worried about it, but it probably close to 5 minutes it took for this first pellets to come through. So let me look again what we're supposed to do. Let's see. When the pellets begin to fall into the fire pot, turn the temperature dial to shutdown cycle. Okay, done that. And then, after that, it says to set the temperature dial to smoke. So it's up 1 notch. Once you see flames come out of the fire pot, turn the dial to shutdown cycle and let the grill cool down. So pellets are still falling out. I'm going to move the camera so you can actually see this. No fire as of yet, though. Okay, I've got the camera moved. As you can see, pellets are feeding down into the fire pot. And I'm just waiting for that to reach ignition point. If I had shown you ahead of time, there's a heating element that sticks out from the side. That's what actually gets them to ignite. So it says this can take approximately 2 minutes. Okay, it looks like we're starting to get a little smoke. No quite open flame yet, but there's definitely smoke coming up, so I think we're reaching that magic ignition point.
we have fire. Okay, so at this point the instructions on the initial firing would tell us to go ahead and let this burn, turn up the temperature to high and let it cook for 45 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and do a shutdown on it and let it cool down and finish the installation, putting in the heat shield and the grease pan and the grill, and then I'll do that initial firing. It's actually kind of interesting to see the cool down cycle keeps blowing the fan, although it quits feeding pellets in there, to completely burn up all the pellets that are left in the fire pot. As I understand it, that's a safety thing to make sure there's nothing left over that could cause a bad reaction or instant combustion, I guess, on the next time firing it up. So you can see it's burned up most of the pellets and we're down to just some embers. Okay, I've got the Traeger cooled back down. I'm now going to put in the heat shield and the grease pan and the grill, and then that's it. Everything's done. So I've left the camera up high. You won't be able to see me very well. Not that you really wanted to anyways, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing inside the grill. So first is the heat shield. You can see hopefully that there's little notches cut into the side of it. And down in the grill, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a couple little brackets. So this goes over the fire pot and fits over those brackets. Also note that both the heat shield and the grease pan are like lightly oiled coming from the factory. The heat shield is or the grease pan is a much bigger thing. It's got an end down here that's bigger and a much smaller end. You might think the bigger end goes up top to give you an angle, but the angle is built into it. So what it actually does, the big end goes down the bottom and that notch is where the grease comes out. Let's see if I can get this right. Fantastic. So that little lip up there, there's a stand up on this side of the grill, on the side with the hopper, and it just, that lip catches on it and there, and just the rest of it sits down in there. And then of course the last thing is the grill. And that just sits in there like that. So there we go. There's the Traeger all set up. I'm going to do the initial cooking on it. Not the cooking, but the seasoning, that's what they called it, of the grill. So I guess that's it. And from here I'm just going to fire back up on high and let it cook for 45 minutes per the instructions. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you find this useful.